Autism to me is one of those words that has a negative approach in the media. There's a lot of stereotypes towards that certain word, but autism to me is, I've said it before in other interviews and I'll say it again, it's that one word what describes my life. My opinion on autism in the media is, I've just said then, there's a lot of negative stereotypes towards the word. I think a lot of the negative stereotypes in the media about autism are about children getting kicked out of mainstream primary or secondary school because they can't cope with the structure and they can't cope with the sudden change constantly. But I think, especially what I've done as an autistic individual, like with these 2 books I've written and other stuff I've achieved, like any other person who has done better things than me or has just done any little achievement, that should be put in the media as a positive outlook on the word. I received my autism diagnosis just before I started secondary school, so a few months before. That time was quite a difficult time for my family anyway, as other things were going on, and it was just after the Christmas I think I had my diagnosis, and I think I was 11. But all those years of knowing and not understanding why I was different and why I stood out from certain crowds, I finally knew, but I was ready to start it all over again. That's quite a good question because I'm asked that quite a lot of the time, but I feel quite proud, but then again I feel different because there are those certain people who will say stuff to you just on the snide, and they'll go, oh, why does he get privileges in school? I don't get privileges in school, I get help. I'm entitled to help, I receive the help. If, like anyone else, if they need help, they will get the help, and it's just that I need extra help in certain situations. In my books, those certain stereotypes is the difference. I've just said it then. In certain cards, I stand out. These books stand out. They stand out from anyone else, and the way they are set out, at the front of the book, this is kind of shown in front. This is actually an animated image of an autistic brain. It's actually zoomed in, and this is the eye. It's like a broken glass, but it's an eye, and it's that each book is meant to symbolise the different pathways of autism, and those stereotypes. You'll see someone struggling, or like a lot of people say to me, you don't struggle, you're perfectly capable of doing certain things, but most things I'm not. I think it's important to spread this awareness because no one knows what's going on in my brain. I don't know what's going on in yours, I don't know what's going on in Sir's, I don't know what's going on in anyone's brain or anything, but people think just because they've looked at certain facts and statistics online that they think they know me, and they don't know me at all. Every single autistic person or every single person with a mental condition are completely different. Certain people who don't understand autism are just like anyone else. They just approach me as I'm a normal person. If I then go into certain conversations with them, I will bring it up and just say, listen, I'm sorry if I'm being a bit awkward. I can't help it, that's just the way I am. And if they don't understand that, then I'll just carry on the conversation as normal. But if they do understand that, then they'll start to ask me more questions about it and I'll get more comfortable with them. I haven't actually seen the film in full. I've seen bits of it, but it's one of those films for me what I feel like I can't watch because I don't want to watch that and feel like, oh, people actually think I'm like that by just watching that film. I feel quite scared. I feel quite intimidated just by watching little bits of it. Now I've YouTubed certain clips of it, and I've wanted to watch it, but then I felt like, should I be watching this or not? But this is actually quite a good question, because for years and years I've been called Rain Man by my own family, and I've always thought that they're being quite horrible, but they're actually not. It's just that because Raymond, he can remember so many things he's done in his life in the film. So can I. I can remember just little odd things what no one else could remember, and say, for instance, my mum will say, "Oh, remember this time we done that?" And I'll go, "No," and I'll correct it and I'll say, "No, we done this time and that." Yeah, like, I don't think there's any other answer for me to say that. I would never ever skid someone who's in a wheelchair. Just because you can't see my condition doesn't mean you can take the mick out of me. It doesn't mean that whatsoever. Just because I'm different in the way I act doesn't mean you can take the mick out of me. I could take the mick out of someone, but I choose not to, and that's the right thing to do. So, just coming from personal reasons, I just feel like if someone is different, do not make them feel worse. My final words for anyone with any condition is to be brave. It's tough. When you think you can't do it, don't believe yourself, you can do it.